Hey guys, majority of Indians make lots of mistakes when they are planning their Europe trip, and as a result it costs them a lot of money than they expect to. Not because Europe is costly, but because they have not done planning properly. They have either made mistakes in their flight bookings, or in visa, or in travel, or in accommodation, or in packing, or in food, or in many other things. So in this video I'll give you all the explanations of what you should do and what you should avoid. And how am I qualified to give this? I am qualified because I did a 26 days trip on my own with my family and kids, and it went picture perfect smoothly, and basis this I'll be able to help you. So do not book anything before you watch this video till the end, and I'm sure you will find it useful and helpful. Hi, I'm Nishan and I welcome you to my YouTube channel Veg Stroller. If you find today's video useful, please remember to like, subscribe and share. Let's get started. Let's first discuss about flights. Majority of people make mistakes while booking their flights. The mistake they do is that they book the return flight tickets from the same city, and this results in lots of wastage of money as well as time. So just imagine that you're flying from India, you're landing in Paris, and as per your itinerary from Paris you will be going to maybe Switzerland, from there you will be going to Italy, and then maybe to some other country, say Austria. So instead of taking a flight from Austria, majority of people just see that the round ticket flight is costing them less money and they book return flight from Paris itself. And because their return flight is from Paris and they are in Austria, they have to spend excess money in traveling back from Austria to Paris. So they'll spend money in booking the train or flight to come back to Paris. They'll spend money in booking a hotel because they might land in Paris one day earlier, maybe to spend the night if the flight is early morning, and they will also lose out on time which they could otherwise have used to visit or explore some new location. So do not make this mistake of booking a round trip ticket even if it is cheaper. Always try to book a multi-city ticket in your Euro trip. That's recommendation number one. Recommendation number two, let's talk about visa mistakes. So majority of people make mistakes while booking or applying for visa because they either apply to wrong country embassy, or they do not fill documents correctly, or they do not have the perfect documents for the European Schengen visa. So to help you with this, I had already created a detailed step-by-step video of what are the documents you are required to produce for your visa, what is the process to fill European visa and get Schengen visa. I'll share the link of both these videos in the I button and in the description. You can watch those. But just to give you smaller perspective, there are two ways in which you can apply for Schengen visa. The first way is you apply to the country where you are first landing on your Europe trip. So if you are landing first in Paris, you apply in French embassy. The second way to apply for Schengen visa is to apply in the country where you are spending maximum number of days. So if you are traveling to Paris first but you are spending maximum number of days in Switzerland, you can apply for Swiss visa. So these are the two ways in which you can apply for visa. Then apart from this, you also should have perfect documentation for each day of your itinerary. So you should have accommodation, you should have transport options in the form of return flight tickets, and you should have documentation for covering your expenses and everything else. If you are not willing to book your flight tickets in advance because you are not sure about visa, then I will suggest you can use some dummy tickets to book your flights, and basis that you can apply for your visa. That's a perfect legit way to do it, and there are many sites which offer these dummy visas. So explore that particular option, and remember to book your visas at least 8 to 10 weeks in advance so that you do not panic in the last. Now let's talk about the third mistake which people make, and that is related to transport options. Now in Europe there are multiple countries, small countries which are clustered together, and that constitutes Europe. And to travel from one country to another country, there are lots of options available. You can travel by road, by train, by air, or multiple other means. You can also self-drive. Now train is a good option because you will get some fantastic views, you will get some amazing experiences, particularly on Switzerland, or on bullet train ride between Paris and Switzerland, or something else. So you should always try to experience that. For that, what I'll suggest is you should book your Europe travel pass in advance. So if you're traveling to Europe, multiple countries have one Europe train pass called Europe travel pass. You just have to decide how many number of days you want to take the train ride, and basis that you can buy the pass in advance. So that's one. Similarly, if you're traveling in Switzerland, then there is a Swiss pass which covers all your public transport. Buy that. Always remember that these are day specific passes, not date specific. So if you're traveling for 20 days in Europe but you want to use only 5 days to travel in trains between different cities, you just buy a 5 days pass, and accordingly you can plan your trip. And remember that it will be activated only when you start using it. So even if you buy today and your travel is after 3 months, you do not have to worry, you can buy it, and after 3 months when you first start using your ticket or pass, it will be activated and then your days count. So have these passes purchased in advance. That's on the train. Now travel by air. Try to always check what is the flight prices when you are traveling between cities in Europe, because there are many times when you will get flight tickets at a much cheaper price than a train ticket or a bus ticket, because flights can be very cheap and they will save you a lot of time. So always do compare that and take flights if you are traveling especially between longer distance in Europe. So that's a good option for you. So this was about traveling between different cities. Now coming to traveling within the city, most of the cities in Europe have good public transport infrastructure. So you will have metros, you will have buses, and they cover almost entire part of the city. And for traveling in these, normally there are passes available. So tram, bus, metro, all are covered in one single pass. So go to any country, get the pass and use public transport to travel and explore the attractions, because taking Uber, cab or any other taxi will be very expensive in Europe. So try to get the passes, 1 day pass, 2 day pass, 3 day pass, whatever is your duration, and basis that explore the city and then move on to the next city or next country. So that's how you should travel in Europe, and that's your transportation part. Next is accommodation. Now if you are a vegetarian and if you are an Indian, then the best option for you to book your accommodation is to book on Airbnb or book accommodations which do not have breakfast in them. Why do I say that? I say that because normally vegetarian Indians cannot eat what is available in Europe buffet breakfast. It will be continental buffet with only 2 to 3 dishes of vegetarian nature and breads and other things, and in Europe you will get bored eating the same food again and again. So it's always better that you either book accommodation which has kitchen where you can prepare your own food, or you eat outside basis your food preferences and other things depending on what you want to eat that particular day. So that's my recommendation. Apart from that, if you want to stay in hotel, then maybe you can redeem your Marriott Bonvoy points, because Marriott Bonvoy redemptions do not offer breakfast included. So that ways you will get hotel experience, and then breakfast you can decide what you want to eat and what you want to not eat. So that's on the food part. Always try to book your accommodation a little away from the tourist attractions. So do not book anything close to Eiffel Tower. A little away is good because you will have good metro connectivity and you will get it cheaper. So the things which you should look out for is metro connectivity. How far is the metro station, and does that particular area offer convenience stores, groceries, and is a safe neighborhood. These are the key criteria which you should look for. Airbnbs are fine, hostels are fine. Hostels are very clean in Europe. You can stay there as well. In fact, I have created a curated list of where I stayed in Europe. I'll share the link in the description. You can check that also. I have given a detailed pros and cons of each of the accommodation where I stayed, and you can book those particular accommodations using the link given in that particular page. So that takes care of your accommodation. Now next is, what do you carry in the luggage? Again, the recommendation here is do not carry lots of stuff or do not carry too little stuff. Carry optimum stuff with you in terms of luggage, and always keep at least one bag free, because you will have lots of things which you have to carry back from Europe to India after doing your shopping. I mean, you have your cuckoo clocks which are a must buy if you are visiting Germany and Black Forest. Similarly, if you are visiting Italy or France or other things, then there are lots of other accessories, souvenirs which you will be buying for sure and which you will be getting. So you need space in your suitcases. So carry optimum luggage. Then ensure that you carry food items in form of ready to eat Indian food or khakras, theplas and other things which can be eaten while traveling outside. That will help you saving some money and not spending much time cooking all the meals. Clothing is very important. Always ensure that you have layered clothing, so carry it accordingly because the temperatures can fluctuate in Europe between cities and between the day also. In the day you might feel it is hot and then by the night time it starts getting pretty cold. So carry layered clothing. Apart from that, another thing you should remember is that Indian currency usually keeps depreciating against euro. So try to book your tickets in advance as early as possible. Your Euro rail tickets, Swiss rail tickets, attraction passes from Klug, all these should be booked in advance. You will get them cheaper. The delays you do, the later you book, the more costly it will get for you. One another important tip is related to the payments you make. So in Europe, always ensure that you do all your transactions using a zero markup forex card. Apply for Niyo card or Scapia card. These are the best forex cards with zero markup as of now which are available in the market. I will give the referral links in the description for both of these cards. Use the referral links if you want to apply for the forex card. It will give you some bonus points which you can redeem for bookings or experiences, and it will help me earn some extra bonus points for myself as well. So it will be a win-win for you. But these are the two best forex card available, and it will save a lot of money for you if you use them properly. So no spending on anything else except zero markup forex cards. That's a mandatory thing which you should have. Then you should also ensure that you have a very good cover of travel insurance. You do not want to compromise on that. So try to have good cover included. Try to keep offline maps downloaded on your phone. Have physical and digital copy of your passport, visa and other important documents. Have the number of Indian embassy in the cities which you are traveling and in the countries you are traveling to. It can come in handy anytime. And try to be vigilant and safe, especially in countries and cities like Paris, which are known to be a place where tourists get trapped or tourists are looted, cheated in multiple ways. So try to be extra careful there. So that's it. If you follow these particular tips, I'm sure your Europe trip will be stress-free and it will be an amazing trip. If you have any further questions or if you want to connect with me, discuss your Europe itinerary, take my help in planning your Europe itinerary, feel free to reach out. You can put in your request in the comments, and basis that we can connect and I can do a paid consultation with you. And if there is any other question you have, please feel free to ask. I'll use all my experience of 26 days of Europe with my parents, my kids, my family, kids 6 and 8 years when I traveled. So basis that experience, I'm sure I'll be able to help you. Do feel free to ask any questions if you have, and if you found the video useful, please remember to like, subscribe and share. Until next time, this is Nishan signing off. Bye, take care, ta-ra.